As it turns out, when I bought the machinery, it came with a book, and I read the book and built a pair of boots. Unfortunately, they didn't fit me very well, and they're really, I won't even show them to you, they're pretty ugly. However, the second pair that I built fit the guy they were supposed to, and I said, all right, I'm a bootmaker, and I've been at it ever since.
Welcome back to the Building Nebraska podcast. It's a podcast for dreamers and doers. We work hard to ignite your passion for entrepreneurship by showcasing those out there in the fields doing just that. Today, we've got a unique story to share with you, and I want to let you know that we think some of our best stories come from suggestions, and that was the case with today's episode as we are at the Sandhills Boot Company in Cody, Nebraska. We were just down the road visiting with George, and George says, hey, you got to go next door because there's another cool story. Kyle Rosfeld is here. You make custom items, custom boots, custom purses. You name it, I suppose. You'll at least give it a shot. Is that fair?
For the most part, anything made out of leather, and I build it from scratch.
Why does someone get a custom pair of boots, let's say?
Generally, because they can't find anything they either like or fit well. And in either case, I can remedy that. I start with a footprint and then build the boots to fit, and then basically ask, what do you want? So whatever color tops, high tops, low tops, lace boots, whatever you want.
How does one learn how to make custom boots, custom shoes?
Well, traditionally you apprenticed.
Okay. Traditionally, I don't think that's what you did.
Since I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, as it turns out, when I bought the machinery, it came with a book, and I read the book and built a pair of boots. Unfortunately, they didn't fit me very well, and they're really, I won't even show them to you, they're pretty ugly. However, the second pair that I built fit the guy they were supposed to, and I said, all right, I'm a bootmaker, and I've been at it ever since.
How long has that been?
Well, since the turn of the century. So... This being 2025,
Celebrating
it's not 125.
No, celebrating 25 years in business. In that time, you made some boots for some pretty important people. One of them we'll name at least. You can name others if you wish, but Willie Nelson. How do you end up making a pair of boots for Willie Nelson?
Well, I had built a pair of boots, actually this pair of boots, for a person who was in charge of the Bold, Nebraska, and they had put together the Harvest the Hope concert over in Neely. And they said, Willie's donating his time, and we'd like to do something nice for him, so come build a pair of boots for him. I said, absolutely. I thought about it that long.
They fit him well? He liked them?
He loved them. Yep.
You got to meet him, I assume, through this experience.
I did. I went on his bus. We visited for half an hour, 45 minutes. I mean, just a down-to-earth guy.
There's been some other big-name folks you built boots for, but in general, outside of the celebrity names, who buys a pair of custom boots?
Just pretty much anybody. Yeah. I mean, I understand that they're fairly high-priced for most folks and things like that, but they last a long time and they're fully repairable. So I've sent them all over.
Mm-hmm. When you're pitching your service to people, as you mentioned, a pair of boots at a store might cost $300-400. You add a zero on the 300 at least, and you
That's
get into
correct.
the price range of a good quality pair of handmade, homemade boots for someone. But how do you convince them of your service, especially for somebody who has not bought a pair of custom boots before?
Well, I don't try to. It's one of those things where the more I sell, the more they find something that might be wrong with them. So I pretty much lay it out that this is a custom boot, fit to your foot. I guarantee them to fit. I can repair them down to whatever part goes bad in them, whatever pair you scuff, cut a hole in, whatever. Send them back and I'll figure out how to fix it. And from there, they have to make the decision that this is something they want to spend money on. Mm-hmm. I'm not a salesman.
Well, as I mentioned at the top, we're in Cody, Nebraska, a town, a few hundred people call home. It's also a center for a lot of people where people can come into town, do some shopping, go to the bar, get a bite to eat, etc. But there are other larger towns, even in this area, but then there's the big cities as well. Why are you here?
I am here because in 2010, they invited me over to give a speech to the students at the school about entrepreneurship. And as I was discussing and describing my business, the questions they started asking kind of clicked with me that something was going on over here in the school. And when I found out they were building a grocery store, student run, and all of that went along with it, I went ahead and went home and told my wife we were moving my kids over there. So my oldest was going to be a freshman, and I put them all in school over here, and we bought a house and we moved. And I really like the small town. Even though there's not much walk-in, I get plenty of stuff done.
Mm-hmm. What's the word entrepreneurship mean to you?
It's just having a good idea to be self-sufficient in where you get your money, where you get your livelihood. Mm-hmm. So I'm a walking example of that.
It's a little bit of a risky venture. You were sharing with me before the turn of the century, before you started this venture, you were ranching and came about this opportunity through a branding. But there's a lot of jobs like that in this area where you go have perhaps a safe career, something where what you're going to do the next day. What made you take that step and say,
why not be safe?
Yeah,
is that what
why
you're
not
asking?
be safe? There's a good way to look at it.
I have a real hard time focusing on one thing all of the time. And with this, from day to day, I can work on whatever I want. And I don't have to okay it with my boss. I understand that, perhaps having a full-time or a steady job looks good on paper. But after a while, I get tired of them. I mean, it's probably just my way of running out on a full-time job. I did run mail routes for several years while I was here, and it pretty well, in the mornings, and then you're done for the day, mm-hmm. So that pretty well kept me afloat for quite a while.
Sure.
But
well, you brought up the school system. You were asked to come speak about your entrepreneurship journey when you were in another community. Since moved to Cody, Nebraska. There's a couple of other businesses we've had the chance to spotlight right here in town, which is saying something with a town of, mm-hmm. frankly, not a lot of people, quality people, but not a lot of people. What is it about this area, people in general, that you think make them unique in wanting to pursue entrepreneurship?
In my opinion, it's because there's very few actual jobs to be had. Mm-hmm. So you either drive 40 miles and do one, just for something to do, or you create your own. And if you've got a good idea that you can float along with and do it, jump in both feet.
You're answering the next question I was going to ask you, which is advice for young people. In particular, we partner with the Angler program to produce this podcast to hopefully inspire people, as I mentioned in our introduction. But why do you think people should at least consider entrepreneurship as a path for them?
One thing I always, when I spoke with students, I would say, go ahead and start your own business, because if it doesn't work, you'll know that, that business is hard. If it does work, it'll be great. And it'll make you a better employee eventually, having run your own business. You can know the top to the bottom. If you fail as a student, in high school or early college, I'm pretty sure your parents won't kick you out. You'll still get fed, and have a place to sleep. So that's a perfect time to start. Start young. Yeah. Absolutely. It's just one of those things where the more people are out there learning how businesses run, the better off all the businesses will be.
Mm-hmm. few rapid fire questions. We round out our time together, Kyle. Favorite item or thing you've made over the past 25 years is?
It's like choosing which one of your kids is favorite. Honest. I love anything I can put my fingers to.
Yeah. What's been your best marketing?
Generally going to a show of some kind. I used to go to one in South Dakota, and folks would come by and actually be able to see my boots and visit with me, and just telling my story always seemed to give a little bit of a boost to somebody wanting to buy a pair of boots. So,
your favorite memory along the way over this journey?
Again, lots of good memories, lots of good stories. Meeting Willie Nelson was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Well, Kyle, thanks so much. We did not plan our visit to your shop. As I mentioned, it was kind of impromptu, but really fun to learn your story, what you're doing here at the Sandhills Boot Company, and want to say thank you for opening your door to us and letting us come visit with you.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by. I'm always here if you can catch me.
And if you need a custom pair of boots, you know the guy to look up. Kyle here at the Sandhills Boot Company. Our guest of the Building Nebraska podcast. It is powered by the Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program, which is located at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Hey, if you like this episode, we encourage you to like it as well as share it with your friends and family. Let them know that you enjoy the Building Nebraska podcast. We'll be back next time with another entrepreneur.